This LA news anchor made these comments moments before reporting the verdict in the second LAPD beating trial of Rodney King.
Okay, I'm standing by, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have shit to say. We don't have anything to do. But by God, the management of this company deems it necessary that I come on the air in the morning and shock the shit out of all of you.
In just half an hour from now, the jury in the federal Rodney King beating trial will be back in session.
Of course, everyone knows the old rhyme. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. We know his voyage took him to the New World, and his arrival changed the world forever. But beyond that, much about Columbus remains the subject of some dispute.
During the celebration of the 500th anniversary of Columbus's discovery of the Americas, the only satellite feed I found with a Native American guest was this feed to a local morning talk show. The guest is a historian and a member of the Cherokee Nation.
As you said, he presided over death of 250,000 people. No, that wasn't at his own hand. That was others who followed him and disease and that sort of thing.
No,
he couldn't control.
I'm talking about like his first 2 years here, 250,000. It's pretty well documented. He took his interpreters, he took his guides as slaves. He chopped off the hands of anyone over 14, any male over 14 who couldn't bring him gold. He took women as sex slaves for his men.
Dr. Mattei, I want to thank you very much for coming by. Thanks for spending some time with us this morning on the Good Morning Show.
You're welcome. That was brief.
Okay. Hopefully painless, sir.
The painful lessons of Columbus's past were never mentioned as the networks debated his legacy.
Interesting debate. I'm not sure we've settled it this morning, but we appreciate trying. That's true. Thank you both.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with more of our special edition of Today on Governor's Island right after this.
What did he say that made any sense? Anything?
They just, think that he ruined the paradise and had no respect for nature and treated the Indians like dog do and...
What the hell is he doing?
1 minute.
Okay.
Channel 4, do you read us in Washington? WYFF. Come in, come in.
Remember that every single man, woman, and child in the state of South Carolina awakens to a freer, safer world because of George Bush.
WIS, do you hear us in Washington?
I would remind people that every single morning we all awaken to a safer, freer world because of George Bush.
WCBD, do you hear us in Washington?
And Nicole, I would remind you and the people of Florence that all of us awaken every single day to a freer, safer world because of George Bush.
WCSC, do you read us in Washington?
They themselves awaken every single day to a freer, safer world because of George Bush.
This morning we're here looking for solutions.
CBS looked for solutions at LA's Martin Luther King Hospital.
Well, a hospital like Martin Luther King can see more trauma than all of Western Europe does in a year. In fact, there's so much trauma there that the U.S. Army sends its combat surgeons there so they get a sense of what these very severe wounds were like. In fact, when I was in the Gulf War, a number of the senior combat surgeons had trained right here at Martin Luther King Hospital.
Dr. Bob, thanks.
Before he went on air, part of Dr. Bob's diagnosis was cut out because it was too obtuse.
Yeah, so what's your impression? Because my impression is, places like South Central LA, around the country, look more and more like real third world countries, or third world countries without the hope. That is, they had no medical care, they had no real economy, and yet in a third world country, it's developing. There's some onward development, there's some vision for the future.
Well, your impressions of the medical care are you talking about? I think that gets too obtuse.
How
about if I were to ask about the level of the trauma care? Cuba has always been considered superior, has it not, to other parts of the country?
Cook. Yeah, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's the best,
Why don't I say something like that?
Okay.
I have sent word to keep that Operation Rescue. I don't want one word on this program this week about Operation Rescue.
Well, we're not. We're not.
I don't want to cover it. I don't want to talk about it. And I want you to work.
That same morning, Republicans who supported women's right to choose an abortion held a rally in Houston led by Ann Stone.
Ann Stone, that much rather. I mean, we felt like we should cover it as in
Don't cover anything about the abortion debate any longer. It doesn't matter. They passed the platform. You need to get cameras covering our rally, our time.
Oh, we're there. We're going to be there.
And
Does it start?
and then you need cameras
It's crunch
shooting
time for President George Bush.
or me sitting in the vice president's box. Various things.
You're going to be in the president's box?
Both.
Both.
Okay.
5 minutes before.
But I believe in objective news. I believe in balanced news. I don't want to slant the news. I just want to tell it like it is.